Welcome back to the show. At this spring's NCAA Division II championships, Craig Jordens helped the Limestone University to a fourth-place finish with third-place finishes himself in the 50 and 100 freestyles. And a win in the 200 free relay, the sophomore is now making the move to D1. And like many South African swimmers, he's headed to the University of Arizona. It's a major change for the Cape Town native, and to talk about it, we have Jordens on the line right now. Craig, welcome to the Morning Swim Show. How you doing?
I'm good, and yourself. Thanks very much for having me.
You're welcome. So the theme for today is trying to understand how swimmers outside the U.S. Choose to swim in the U.S. for college, and what schools and how they make the choice of school. So tell us about your story coming out of South Africa.
Well, my story coming from South Africa, I don't think I was a proverbial swimmer training 4 hours a day throughout my high school and junior school. I played mostly rugby and water polo in high school, and swimming was pretty much my third sport. And just because I went to Australia in grade 10 on an exchange program, and I swam a meet there, and my time was pretty good. I swam a 23.5 in my 50 freestyle. And with that time, I got speaking to my dad, and I said, it would be pretty nice to go over to the States and be a part of, the college system. I mean, like looking at Rake and Roland and Lyndon and them, their success has been awesome, and I just wanted to be a part of that. So with that time I did in Australia, I started applying to schools, and the one school that picked me up was Limestone College. I pretty much didn't have much choices of where to go. But I did go, however, on a recruiting trip to Missouri State. I didn't really enjoy that, and Limestone College seemed like a really good place. And in hindsight, it's turned out great. So I've no complaints.
So you were not the highly touted recruit, but now after a couple of years in a smaller school, you feel like you're ready for the big time.
Yeah, for sure. I think if I went straight into a big Division I school, I think there would have been a good possibility of me just getting sucked up completely by the system. So for me, going to a small school, we have 1,000 people here. It's really tiny, but it's been great for me for these last 2 years. But I think now I'm ready to, as you call it, spread my wings, and dive into deeper waters and see what holds for me.
So you've never been, a swimmer. You're not a lifetime swimmer. You haven't done it for years and years and years. So do you feel like you're still learning a lot about the sport and about your stroke and things like that?
Yeah, of course. It was quite funny. We had a coach last year. His name was Alan Gilchrist, and he taught me. I thought I knew everything about the sport after just my freshman year. And it was funny because now we've got a new coach, Ryan Mallam, who's been great. And now every day I'm just learning and learning and learning. And I love it because it keeps you interested, And then when you start asking questions and I think it's just a great thing. And I know I've still got a lot to learn.
So your connection to Arizona obviously has a South African pipeline history of swimmers that you mentioned, like Roland, Skuman, and Ryk Neethling. So did you feel that connection with them? Is that why you chose that school?
Yeah, for sure. There's no doubt about it. Like you said, South Africans have had success at Arizona in the past. So obviously something at Arizona works for them. I think I'm privileged to actually become a Wildcat, and I can't wait to be there. And when I went to my recruiting trip, it's just awesome. The family vibe that Frank and them have created there, it's unmatchable. I just really enjoyed myself, and I know they're going to get me to be where I want to be. So, and I'll have fun, which is the main thing.
Well, Craig, we congratulate you on your decision, and we'll keep our eye out on you for next year.
Thanks very much.
All right, thanks, Craig.
Cool, cheers.
Click that off right there. That was Craig Jordens joining us. So let's move on to some other discussion. On March 25th, John Lone, Swimming World senior writer, he wrote a column on foreign athletes attending universities in the U.S. Now, his piece, which you can read on swimmingworldmagazine.com, stirred up a lot of discussion. And with us today is our associate producer, Jeff Cummings, to tell us about some of those comments that were posted. Jeff?
Well, Peter, it's really interesting to read all these comments when things get real heated up online. And I got three comments here for you. One's from a poster, KSC, says, why would a college coach give a 20.5 50-yard American 18-year-old a scholarship when he can get a 19.5 50-yard 21-year-old internationally? College coaches need to keep their jobs, thus the vast amount of talented American swimmers will continually be overlooked under the current system.
Well, that's an interesting debate because obviously one of the big debates is should these American universities be developing, talent for other countries. I know coaches like Eddie Reese have taken the stance that, I just want to have American swimmers, and that's certainly got him in the good graces of USA Swimming. But, he has a point. Their job is to make their college teams as good as possible. So, anything else?
Yeah, and here's one kind of on the pro side of bringing foreign athletes into the United States. SwimCat1 says, I believe most of the foreign swimmers who study here, and they do study while swimming, add greatly to the quality experience of the whole team and the university they attend. And many end up staying in the States to live and work, marry, etc.
Well, that is definitely true. I've known lots of people who came over from other countries, studied at the U.S., getting their degree really seriously because sometimes it means even more to them coming from other countries than students in the country. And they stayed and were, very productive members of society outside the sport. Jeff, one more?
Yeah, the last one here kind of takes it on a little more international scope here. Cobber says, in most cases at the Olympics, etc., when American loses to a foreign student, very few people know that the foreigner attends school in the USA and is coached by American coaches.
Well, we saw at the Olympics that happens a ton. Just look at that situation with Michael Kavic. Everybody was talking about here's this Croatian who almost beat Michael Phelps, and he was involved in all the controversy, but he actually swam for Mike Bottom the whole time at Cal and then in other areas, the race club and things like that. So, yeah, definitely, I think, especially for the guys, you'll see a lot of these big-name stars. I'm not quite sure why it's more popular with the guys, but the guys make a much bigger splash, the foreign guys, in the NCAA than the women. Well, thank you for the comments there. Thank you, Jeff. If you ever have comments about a topic we're talking about on the show, you can just email them to us at mail@morningswimshow.com or call us at 1-800-345-7946.